Welcome to Exhausted Sparrows Unite. I am Krista Jones, your host, and I am being joined again today by my beautiful co-host, Chantelly Schaefer. And today we both decided we have to have a real nice long conversation with you guys about you and your fridge and staring at it at 6:30 at night, hungry and overwhelmed. And let's be honest, if you're staring at your fridge at 6:30 at night and you have not made dinner, you're so screwed. What the heck do I make for dinner? That is the topic today. In fact, you're not only not alone, you're likely already carrying the mental equivalent of your 500-pound grocery bag on your shoulders without even stepping foot in that store. So we're going to dive into how something as simple as meal planning might just save your sanity. We're not talking about those Instagram-worthy spreadsheets. We're just talking about some realistic, let me calm my nerves down so this doesn't trigger me and I yell at my children kind of ways to make your life a little better. Welcome, Chantel Schaefer.
Well, hello, Krista Jones.
You know, when we were talking about this, because we throw out all these ideas and we're like, being authentic doesn't just mean, you know, being strong and brave and being scared and, you know, crazy when you need to be. But like there's all these other things in life that people think, oh, those are little things that are like anything but little things. And so like in our conversation as we're going over like, what are we going to do this week? Chantel says meal planning. And I am like sold. I authentically could say I hate it.
I hate it as well, but I still do it.
Oh, you have to do it because I feel if you don't do it, it sends you over the edge. So today, what we're really doing is giving you yet another great tool that will help you keep some of your sanity as the week goes on.
And this is one of the ones where I can say that I have it more together in this area of my life. I hate it. I despise it. Monday nights are like the bane of my existence. But
why Monday nights?
Because that's when I do my meal planning.
Oh, okay. See, I do my meal planning usually by that Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is the day that I prep it, cook it, everything that I need to do. I've gone to the grocery store so that, Sunday, like I'm done.
So my husband grocery shops. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
But he goes at like 6 a.m. on Tuesday because he wants to beat the crowds. He knows that it's well stocked on Tuesday. So I do all of my meal planning on Monday night.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Sensical.
Yeah.
That's sensical.
We're sensical in some areas of our lives.
And that's the big thing though. Like people say, how in the world are you going to talk for 20, 30 minutes about meal planning? But the thing is, we're already making like 35,000 decisions a day. That's what they say on average, right? And many of them are these stupid micro decisions that, you know, but among them are things like what to eat, when to eat, who's eating, what's in the fridge. These little tiny micro things add up to something that is so big, and it is like day stopping questions.
I mean, food is so important.
It is.
And it can make or break your day. It can make or break your kids' days. Woo, buddy. You don't put the right food on the table, disaster.
That's what I was going to say, right? And the type of food that you're putting on the table, because when you're not doing any of this like before assessment of what you've got to do, then like this affects way more than just your decision processing, right? It affects your physical health because you're grabbing chips and you're like, isn't there some salsa in the fridge? Guys, like
that's a vegetable.
Hypothetically, I might have done that last night, but so but it is a thing. And we're like, we really want to talk about it because sometimes that what's for dinner question that my kids ask probably 5 or 6 times a day while I'm here cooking for everybody else and they're home asking what's in the fridge, which I always find fun. That question is such a trigger at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every day, my kids, I'll be in the middle of cooking dinner. What's for dinner? Chicken. Ugh. Then don't ask.
Cook your own meal.
I've said that more times than I can count.
All right, so here's my next question. Do you give an alternative if they don't like what's for dinner?
So if I cook something that I know without a shadow of a doubt they will not, like we eat salmon once or twice a month. Avery will eat it. Nora will not touch it. She's tried it. She does not like it. I will give her an alternative.
Yeah.
But if I make you chicken parm, which you have eaten 500 times, and you say, nah, that's not what I wanted for dinner. No.
Right. Okay.
I know you'll eat it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make it. I made it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm a mean mom.
No, I don't think you're mean at all. I do the same thing. I mean, I always have a salad or something, so the kids can always go to that. And there's always sides if they don't like something, in the main. And then, if we need to, I'll say, make yourself some pasta. I always have sauce. I do a homemade sauce. So, that can be the go-to. But yeah, I try really hard not to make 5,000 different meals too, because that also is a trigger.
Oh, I tell all the time, I am not a short order cook.
And I think the interesting thing in that, people are like, what's for dinner? But it's not that simple. It is all the stuff that you've got to do beforehand to make sure that it's ready. So today, as we get through the mental anguish of the question and the physical appearance, when like Krista Jones, you eat a Reese's peanut butter cup for dinner. When we get through like all of that, at the end of this, like we're going to show you that if you really can just do some really easy steps to get ahead of yourself, it's going to save you, they say 2 to 3 hours a day. And I think that's where we bring in Sparrow's Nest. For those of you that are just listening, welcome. And you're like, what a strange title, Exhausted Sparrows Unite. That is because here in the Hudson Valley in New York, we have this amazing charity that I founded, and Chantel is my assistant extraordinaire. And we feed families and individuals throughout their cancer treatment. So we already know, and it already says on our website, this is not just a meal. This is the 2 or 3 hours that you just saved because you didn't have to plan for it. This is the $50, $60, $70 that you didn't have to spend for it. This is the mental load that is completely off your plate because now all you have to do is heat it up. It's already cooked for you. It is a lot of stress that goes into that. Not only, if you're like me and Chantel and I think, we're a lot alike. Like if I'm getting whatever, a big turkey and I'm making that, you better believe there's turkey souffle and there's going to be, a turkey frittata the next morning and maybe even some turkey ice cream. Like I'm really trying to use my turkey to the best of my turkey abilities.
Yeah,
So-
I once a week, I make a meal that I know will have leftovers, whether it's meatballs and I make enough for 2 meals so that in 2 or 3 days we have it again. And that's it saves my sanity, but it also saves financially.
100%.
When I shop chopped meat or ground beef that's on sale.
Yeah, you get it in bulk.
Yeah.
You're saving a little bit. So like there is a lot of time that goes into this, and it is such a micro decision that turns in such a mega decision that we really need to like dive into it. So, right, you have no idea what's going on. You're having a lot of compound pressure now when you haven't planned ahead, because the chance of you making a healthy choice is really, really slim if you do not have something planned out. And I say this because the older I get, perimenopause, menopause, I don't know. I took my jacket off before we started this. I'm like, isn't it hot in here? I don't know what's happening with me, but I can tell you that no matter how many times people have said to me, listen, if you don't meal plan, you're going to screw up. Like I really am starting to pay attention to that, because I noticed that, for me to take an hour or two on a Sunday so that really my week is planned out, why wouldn't I do something that not only is relieving a bunch of my mental stress, but actually physically is good for me? Because you don't have energy when you're grabbing that delicioso Reese's peanut butter cup. It might be good in the moment, but when you get done with that one, you have guilt because that was not an appropriate dinner.
And you're still hungry.
And you're still hungry too, because it does have peanut butter, but still not the protein you need. I did read somewhere if you eat like 14 of them, it is like 40 grams of protein or something.
That's a lot.
I know it is, but and honestly, it zaps your energy because it is this sugar rush and then this big old crash, and you're good for nothing.
Nothing.
Meal prep.
It's important.
And had you have known that is the only thing you need to do in your life, just meal prep, and everything else will be better.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I do meal prep and it's still a lot.
There's also a lot of decision fatigue, I think, with meal prep too, right?
Yeah. So I started getting really overwhelmed because like I said, I sit down on Monday, I sit down with the sales flyer.
Yep.
And I meal prep according to what's on sale. And I plan for the entire week. Every meal I'm going to cook, what side, what vegetable, so that when Jeremiah goes to the store, he knows this is what I'm buying. This is all I need. That's how I make my shopping list. So my husband has to pick a meal a week so that I don't have to make that decision. What do you want to make? What are you cooking? What do you need? And then I ask the kids, what's one meal you want this week? And it's one decision off my plate. And then I know Avery wanted chicken nuggets this week. We have chicken nuggets. So she's going to be happy one day.
One day. One day out of 7. But I mean, I consider that success. I think that is a really great idea. I just caved on MyFitnessPal, which, by the way, doesn't pay me anything to say that MyFitnessPal is part of my app, but they can if they want to. We would love sponsors on our show. So with MyFitnessPal, I caved and I did the $99 subscription for the year. And then there is an area of this that says plan. And it says plan for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever you decide. And then it says, what do you like? What do you not like? Like it gets pretty, do you like strawberries? Do you like fish? Do you like Mediterranean diet? Do you like carnivore diet? Like it gives you all of these things. And that's what I did. And it said, how much variety do you want? And I was like, let's do the same stuff every 2 days. So that, right? Like, because I'll eat it 2 days in a row. I don't really care. And plus it's cheaper, like to buy in bulk. And let me tell you, it came out with this amazing list of things, a grocery list that I could print and bring to the store with me with what I needed. And I was like, that is the best $100 for the year I've ever spent.
That's pretty fancy.
It's amazing. And I'm the type of person, I've said it before on the show, my mom and my dad, growing up, we were very poor, which I didn't grasp in many ways, especially when it came to dinners. We always had a different meal on the table. I never had Taco Tuesday like every, all my friends' families. And I was not jealous about that. I was like, I don't even know what I'm having to eat tonight. I didn't realize it was because my mom was shopping the circulars and then saying, all right, this is on sale and this is on sale and we can make this, and this will be great. But it made me feel like really loved. So even with my kids, I don't repeat a lot of recipes for quite a long time. Like in my family, probably 6 weeks at least. And I try really hard to do that, but that leads to a lot of fatigue. And when you've got that kind of decision fatigue, what happens? You eventually give up and go, I don't even care. And that is where the worst choices come in. If you're not, doing the research and going through. Pinterest is a great place to go through stuff.
Yeah, they've got a lot of fun recipes.
They do. You could put anything in there and, chicken, squash, and, strawberries. And it'll be like, I'm just saying, Chantel, it will.
That
you
is
need
a
to
combo.
try. And it'll come up with 10 different
try
combos. Maybe it's a soup. I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, like, you just got to take a little time to do it. So, yeah. You have to give yourself 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. I think we can say that's true. If you're a coupon clipper, please tell me how to do that too. I find that fascinating.
Yes. If you do that, can you teach us?
Teach us.
I want a course.
Gosh. Yeah. But I don't want to be buying a lot of toothpaste. I want like rotisserie chicken. Like I don't feel any of you couponers are getting that on sale. I feel you have 11 Dove soaps, but I'm not eating that.
You can get a rotisserie chicken for like $5.
Yes, you can.
But you got to be there at the right time.
Yes, you
because
can.
It becomes warfare at the rotisserie chickens at Sam's Club.
Oh, okay.
It's aggressive.
Okay. I go to different places and then I'm always like, I don't know how long this has been out. So then I go to the back.
Well, you got to go to Sam's because they come out so fast and they're gone so fast. They're always fresh. If you
That's interesting because I was at Sam's the other day and there was a guy saying to his wife, I'm waiting for the rotisserie chicken. There was nothing out there. And I was like, is this a thing?
Yes, it might have been my neighbor. Because he goes and he gets her and he brings us home a rotisserie chicken every time he goes because they're $5. And
I
he's
swear
like,
it was your neighbor.
I brought you a chicken.
And I don't even know why I remember that, but I was like, that is the oddest thing. I was like, all right, there was nothing there.
Fresh, hot, and delicious.
So it's like one at a time. It's not like 12 come out. It's like, there's one.
I think they put out a bunch, but like people are waiting for those chickens.
Right.
But what a good meal prep. Like you can get 2-3 meals out of a rotisserie chicken.
And you're not cooking it. And you can spend $5-6. Sam's and I think like Walmart. I spend a little bit more at other stores.
ShopRites are a little bit more, but they're still good.
But that's okay. Because you know what? Then cheat that way. If you're going to do any cheating, get some really good products that, you don't have to. I mean, sometimes I'm going to be honest with you. It is way more expensive. But if I am in a rush and I don't have the time to meal prep, I may get my vegetables already cut. Like there are, the celery, it's all diced. And I'm like, I can use this in a soup.
Is that mise en pois?
It is. I just didn't know how to say that.
There you go.
I did not say it like that. I said like miso
soup.
poo. I think I said miso poo.
No, it's mise en pois.
Well, but there's a million different things you could do because this whole thing about getting fatigue is real. And let's be honest, your brain is fried if you wait until even 4 o'clock in the day. You know, if you've even waited till 4, you're so screwed. Because if you get done at even 4:30 and get to a grocery store, you're not going to have dinner on the table at 7. And I want to talk about that too. That's not healthy. There are a million of you out there that are like, we eat at 8, 9. And I know you guys do, and I get it, sports and all this stuff. But the earlier that you can eat, the better your digestive system works, the less nightmares you have. That comes from my mom. I don't know if that's true, but she did say if you eat before bed.
Indigestion can create some rockin' nightmares.
Some monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that could be the new shirt.
Like in the middle of the night.
But you know, you need to eat early. So you've got to do all of this stuff. You're melting over chicken thighs, not because they're chicken thighs. You're melting over the chicken thighs because you did not prep for it. You didn't plan. Shame on you.
Shame.
So I hope that you can do that this week.
You know what's funny? I have chicken thighs for dinner tonight.
Chicken thighs are very good. I like chicken thighs. Studies show decision fatigue, I probably have to shut my computer off, impacts our impulse control, our mood, and our focus. Food choices are the absolute most frequent and emotionally weighted choices and decisions that we make. And when we are unprepared, it leads to guilt-ridden takeout or cereal for dinner shameful spirals.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
It does.
We all have those. There are nights where I'm like, we're having pancakes, kids.
Absolutely. Cereal. I mean, none of that is bad. But if consistently you're making that mistake, you really got to put some meal prep in.
For sure.
And did you know that meal prep also soothes your nervous system?
I feel better when I start my day knowing that I'm going home and making chicken thighs and polenta and beets.
And this is exactly what that says. When your brain knows what's coming, it stops scanning for danger. Mm-hmm. It starts feeling safe. It's not worried when your 3 redhead daughters call to say what's for dinner because it has a response. Mm-hmm. It knows. Your nervous system will thank you if you just do a little bit of meal prep. And think about if you're like an over anxious person to begin with, what does that do to you? If you already are over anxious and you have not like really strategically kind of figured that stuff out, you're in a spiral, a chaotic moment.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Not at all.
Especially over food.
Right.
Food's my happy place.
Food is my happy place too. And you know, it's interesting you say that because I don't make as good quality meals when I'm rushed.
No, absolutely not.
So if I can do in 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday, just 3 really nice meals that whatever, I prep it and it's not cooked. Maybe it's raw and then I freeze it or however I decide to do it. But I know, that is what brings me joy, to make a nice meal.
We're a lot of I always say that food is my love language.
Mine too.
It's how I show love. And I think that's why I fit in so well here.
You do fit in very well here. So, all right, here's the thing. We're talking about this and people out there are like, yeah, I'm going to start tomorrow, which Krista Jones says almost every single week. I finally started consistently about maybe 8 weeks ago. And the reason I did it is because I had a surgery and I was really, really inflamed. I only gained 5 pounds on the scale. Through the surgery, I had a rotator cuff. And if any of you have done that before, I really thought that year thing is a joke. That's not true. And then now I'm really humbled. I'm like 5 months in going, ow. So I had a lot of inflammation. I said, I have to just change everything because I was so disgusted. So I really started prepping and I've only lost maybe 2.5 pounds, but I just feel the inflammation in my body, getting out of bed, my knees, all of that is just, I just feel so much better because I did it. And I am guaranteeing, I understand you guys are busy. We have talked in plenty of these episodes about how we don't have a minute in the day to breathe. But we also say in every single episode that self-care is the most important thing because you can't take care of anything else in your day, including other people, if you don't take care of you. So this has to be part of a self-care routine. It has to be. It is so important. because we want you to be around for a long time and we want you to be healthy. And you have a lot of people that love you. So that's kind of the way I had to start looking at it, because I wasn't getting out of bed. I was like, I don't feel good. And my kids were like, what? I got a daughter getting married. She wants to dress shop. And I don't want to say I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And meal prepping really is it's that simple task that I'm putting now into my week that is honestly changing the entire week.
Yeah.
Just because of the way I'm eating.
And for me, meal prepping I don't prep any food ahead of time. I just make the meals. Like I lay them out. I have an app. It's called AnyList. Again, I don't get any points for saying this,
but maybe they'll give us some.
We pay, my husband and I pay for the yearly subscription because it's a shared grocery list and a shared meal list. We make our own list. So he sees the grocery list, I see the grocery list, so I can add things while he's at the store. We add things as we go about our day, and then he can see the meal. So if I forgot to take out chicken thighs, he goes, oh, Chantel didn't take out the chicken thighs for dinner, and takes them out. So it's I plan what I'm going to eat or prep or make all week, but I don't prep anything ahead of time. It's just, for me, it's that peace of mind of these are the things we're having. This is what I need from the store.
You've got it ready in the fridge and it's
Yes.
ready to go for that night. And for me, because I have so many night meetings and I'm out and about and I'm doing all these things, I sometimes will literally get it all ready and in the pan and put them in the fridge. So I'll do 2 days in a pan, and then I might do a day or two that are actually in the freezer, because chicken only lasts a few days. So I'll know that I have to just pull it out. Or like you said, I'll do a huge sauce, or if I'm going to do something that's really intricate to make, I might make 2 to 3 of them and I will freeze the others. And 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later or 6 weeks later, it probably is 6 weeks, I'll take something out and then I'll put it back in the mix.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier.
It sure does.
So I think it just depends on how busy you are in life, because like Chantel's saying, that's a really easy fix. Just deciding this is what we're eating today. You could put it on a calendar in your fridge. You could have it on an app, whatever it is. And then as a household, you guys can make sure it's in the fridge and ready to go for that day. That's great. And if your husband's involved, your children are old enough, maybe, you guys need to, slice the peppers for the sausage and peppers. Like, this is what we're having tonight. Get that ready before I get home. Like, it can really be that simple.
Yeah. And, I find that my kids are more apt to eat what I'm making if they had a hand in it, if they helped, if they contributed.
They're proud.
Yeah. So even the planning part, again, if I say, what do you want to have this week? They're more apt to eat the meal that they've chosen or the meals that they've spoken up on than if I just pull them out of thin air.
Absolutely. Because it makes them proud. At Sparrow's Nest, it's something that we're looking into now is, doing classes for children where someone in their family has a cancer diagnosis so that they can feel empowered, right? Bringing them in, because a child wants to know that they're contributing. And for you to say, oh my gosh, this is so great. Or even if, you just say, oh my gosh, this recipe looks amazing. We'll do this. Also letting your kids see that they're a part of that process gives them a passion for food. It makes them want to cook. And it's not, we go out every night and, I'm not really involved in, because really, you're a product of your environment. Whatever, you grew up with, a lot of times you bring into relationships as an adult. So how are we going to get this done, Chantel?
Well, I think finding a central place to plan, write down what you want to eat or what you're going to plan to eat for the week. If you're looking to save money, planning around what is on sale. I shop that flyer religiously every single week. And, I also stockpile in the freezer. I'll buy meat when it's on sale. And then I'll go through the freezer and say, oh, I have chicken breast. I'm going to make, chicken tikka masala this week. That's my biggest input on this, is finding a place to decide and planning at least a few days ahead. This is what we're going to have each night. And this is what I need from the store, because it's got to be exhausting to run to the store every day to pick up ingredients. I despise the grocery store, so I try not to go.
I do too. And I do I love to do number things. So I do a 3-2-1. So I 1 week will do 3 easy meals, then I'll do 2 more intricate meals, and then I'll do a leftover. And then I may say Friday night can be pizza.
Okay.
Right? Or then I may do 3 intricate meals, and then 2 leftovers, and then, 1 easy one. So like I will kind of like get this balance, and then, we may have enough leftovers for all week, or once a month I try to say, let's go have pizza or something, because I think that's fun. We don't do that a lot in our house. I didn't do that growing up because we didn't have the money. And so it was just something that, I put into my everyday life too, because, if I can make it, it's great to sit around the dinner table when it's a home cooked meal. I think there's a whole different ambiance behind that.
Yeah. And finding simple meals. Like we make pizza, we buy pizza dough and sauce and cheese.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's easy. Anybody can do it. And it's one less, the kids get their hands involved. It's less for you to do.
100%. And there's cookbooks out there that are, the 3 meal. I mean, you can find it on Pinterest. Anywhere you go, you could say, I just want 4 ingredients. I want something really simple. Or many of these places now, you just put what you have in your fridge and they'll say, here's what you can make with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. AI is a
oh gosh,
thing.
It's crazy. But like we said, cooking double batches, that might be more up your speed. I do that all the time if the meal's intricate, like I said.
Yeah.
Like if it's a harder meal for me and, I'm making lasagna roll-ups, you better believe, bad boy, I've got enough for Chantel if you want him, and your neighbor who's getting a Sam's chicken, and a couple other people in your life.
You're going to trade them a Sam's chicken for some lasagna roll-ups?
Oh my gosh, because those things break. You got to roll them individually. There's a lot that goes into that.
I made crock pot lasagna once. And you don't have to cook the noodles because all of the moisture in the sauce and the cheese cook the noodles.
And does it stay in the whole time, or does it go in at the end?
No, it all stays in the whole time.
Really? They're not mush?
No. Nope. You cook it less time. I got to say, I was very happy with it, except it's a mess to clean up.
Okay, but it's hearty.
It's
a lot of protein.
You think about the size of that crock pot,
right?
That's 2 meals.
That is 2 meals. You could use ground turkey if you don't want to use beef.
Yeah.
Low-fat cheese, like whatever you need to do. Crock pots are really good. We should talk about them. Listen, I don't watch This Is Us. Have you ever seen This Is Us?
I have seen This Is
Well,
Us.
then don't watch it, because I'm about to tell you, putting that crock pot on in the morning and then, having a meal ready at night. Whoa, it is good. My husband works from home, so, he does watch it. So I do recommend maybe you do that. But I mean, plenty of times I've done that too.
Crock pot, Instant Pot.
Yes.
Those pressure cookers. You can cook frozen chicken
in no time. And I like themes. I'll do themes every day, all day.
Like
I
what
do.
kind of themes?
Well, like, I'm from Louisiana. I say that. I was not born there. I just lived 8 or 9 years there, but I feel like it was all my life. So like, when we get into Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras, like forget it. We're wearing the Mardi Gras hats. We're doing the king cakes. Like we're all over it. We're talking with Mardi Gras absinthe, and we're using Slap Your Mama sauce on everything.
What is Slap Your Mama sauce?
It's really not a sauce. It's really a seasoning, and it goes on everything. If my friend April, my BFF from when I was little, is listening, she eats it on toast in the morning. It's fan. I'm going to bring you some. It's very good. It's very good. I'll do for Cinco de Mayo, we'll do things like breakfast for dinner. We'll have a theme, and then I break out all the fun things. I don't know. Paper plate day, appetizer day.
I wish you could see Krista throwing her hand up, laying here. She's so excited.
I love themes.
I love appetizer. That's like empty out the freezer of all of the little picky stuff that we've collected over the past couple months.
And that's a great way to have your kids. Like I'll say to my kids, you each make an appetizer. And then we all bring something to the table. And then I'm like, cheese and crackers are not an appetizer, buddy.
Oh.
Not an appetizer. You did not cook that.
Fiona.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's always Fiona. So anyways, I think like this is all stuff that, I know that we're talking about this and we did for 30 minutes and some of you are giggling, but honestly, I think the key takeaway here is like consistency makes everything less complex. And this is really a big deal. This small what's a dinner thing is really like a way bigger deal in our lives than maybe we're really realizing. And if you stop and think about it, I think you'll be like, yeah, I think you're right. So here's the thing. This is your reminder that feeding your family, it doesn't have to drain your soul, right? You just need a system that gives you breathing room. That I think is the win. And I don't know what that's going to look like for you, but I hope listening to this podcast, you're going to do something this week. Take action. It could mean that you do my 3-2-1 system. It could mean you do what Chantel does. And every morning before you go to work, all your ingredients are at your fingertips and ready to go when you get home. Whatever that system looks like, just create something, because I'm telling you, This is going to create peace, and you can start small. Plan 2 or 3 meals. You don't have to go crazy and plan a week at a time, but I'm telling you, it's going to take some anxiety off your plate. It's going to leave you less triggered. And at the end of the day, it's actually going to fill your plate. So please, this week, take care of yourself and each other. We will see you next week for another episode of Exhausted Sparrows Unite. And if you like what you hear and want to check out our website, please do sparrowsnestcharity.org.